Hello, I'm Zash, and welcome to episode 51 of my G-Senjou no Maou, or The Devil on G-String, Let's Read. Joining me, as always, is my co-reader Faith. Last episode, Mizuha, with Tokita's help, started getting even closer to Kyousuke. They had a little date, and they met on top of the school for a little conversation, where, through some spectacularly bad acting, Kyousuke managed to rescue her. But, in typical fashion with these two, they completely screwed things up. And Mizuha left almost in tears. Anyway, please enjoy this next episode.
Meanwhile, from Shiratori Mizuha's perspective, Nessan, it was no use. There. Poor girl. He's gonna get the wrong idea again. Don't worry, Mizuha. He's not stupid. He should have understood your feelings. Really? I'm sure he realizes you gave him those chocolates 2 years ago. But that doesn't mean he knows I still feel that way. Calm down. You're getting closer to your goal. Yeah, of course you are. You didn't even talk to him before. Right. Hey, don't be so gloomy. Do you think the suspension bridge effect worked? The elder sister's face twisted like a drama mask. Oh, definitely. Like a charm. No doubt about it. Really? Thanks for teaching me about that one, Nessan. Now, next. Next? Chase after him. But I taught you the fundamentals of the exposure effect, didn't I? Yeah, you said I should just be around him a lot. Correct. Feelings of attachment to a stimulus generally monotonically increase with the number of times that stimulus is experienced. But since yesterday we interacted a lot, even during lunch break. Interacting with a scowl won't do you any good. You have to engage him with a range of expression. Doing that causes people to mistakenly believe they've seen your inner self, ultimately providing them with a sense of intimacy. A range of expression. So I should smile, cry, grit my teeth, and look like I'm enduring humiliation? Got it. Anything else? Else? Mizuha's older sister knit her brow with a From what I've seen, I think you need to compliment him more. Compliment? Why? He's not really the type of person that deserves compliments. But you like him, don't you? Yeah. Then compliment him. But if I do, he'll get all pompous. Many studies in education have shown that positive reinforcement is the most effective path to results. Love is no different. That's not true. Violence is the most effective path. There's no more effective means of management than violence. Wait, where did you hear that? Oh, is that wrong? Say you scold someone for having bad grades. However, since the grades were initially below average, there's a high possibility that the student's next report card will show a random improvement. People will then naturally assume the negative reinforcement induced the change.
Actually, negative reinforcement does work at changing behavior, but it doesn't always, it has a lot more negative side effects.
Oh, I get it. So if their grades are good and they get praised, then the grades drop next time and people just think it was because they got arrogant, but it actually wasn't necessarily that. Well, leaving that aside, I insist that you at least try to compliment him. How am I supposed to do that? He's two-faced. Don't be so cranky. Complimenting someone is personally satisfying. It feels good. Good. Then go get him.
Ellipses. Megalipses. Yet another worthless problem is trying to worm its way onto my shoulders.
Azaka.
A voice calls out behind me. I turn around, startled. Now she's laughing for some reason.
Sorry about earlier.
And now she's over-dramatically dejected.
That coat's really cool.
God's sakes, her face and words aren't even matching up. What? What about my coat?
It's incredible. Beautiful, if I must say so myself.
What's incredible about it? This thing's nothing but a cheap rag.
Well, the color and stuff.
I'd say this is a pretty standard color for a coat.
And your hairdo. Your bangs are really long.
Well, I am sorry if that bothers you.
No. I'm complimenting them. They're so long they kind of look like they get in the way, you know?
What kind of compliment is that?
And,
Ellipses. Ellipses.
What the hell? You've got almost no redeeming qualities.
She suddenly dashed off. Hey! She ran far into the distance. What just happened?
What? Nessan, I did it again. There. Poor girl.
Megalipses. Ellipses. What is going through that girl's head these days? Today and yesterday, her behavior has been balls to the walls insane. But chocolates, huh? I'd have never thought she had a thing for me. She might still. Well, I don't care about Shiratori's feelings. I've no time to play around with her. The only thing keeping me from letting this all go is the nagging question. Why did she fall for me 2 years ago? I don't remember being involved with Shiratori at all back then. Still, I knew she was the heir to Shiratori Construction, so I might have tried to get on her good side. Maybe she got the wrong idea about that. To top it off, I threw away the chocolates she gave me. I'm quite the scoundrel. It's not like I feel bad about it, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to fall in love with her to make up for it. This is ridiculous. I'm going to sleep. Or at least I thought I was. What do you want this time?
Oh, were you about to go to sleep? Sorry about that.
Tokita, huh?
Did you think it was Mizuha?
Yeah. What's with her? Are you egging her on or something?
How could you suggest such a thing?
She laughed suspiciously.
Well, what do you think?
About Shiratori? The word creepy wouldn't do it justice.
Did she tell you about the chocolates you threw away?
Yeah. Not that I remember anything about it.
Apparently, Mizuha put them in your desk. She claims that as soon as you saw them, you threw them in the rubbish bin. How awful, Kyousuke.
So?
You should pay her a little more attention.
No, I shouldn't. I'm just not interested. Yeah, I should make that clear right now. Tell Shiratori that I'll apologize if she's still upset about 2 years ago, but I'm not interested in her.
Very well.
Her voice seemed to be hiding something. Why is she so into me anyway?
Oh? Who said she was still into you? Seems you are interested.
I mean, I'm not interested that way. Tokita laughed.
What exactly do do you think about Mizuha?
I told you, I don't think anything of her.
Then what would you say our other classmates think of her?
Our classmates? No clue. I casually thought back on Aichi's investigation into Shiratori's reputation. They say she's a top student, good at sports, generally talented girl, I guess. She seems to have an attitude problem, though.
Yet she doesn't have many friends.
I'd say that's about right. Ever since the director scandal started, she's been treated even more coldly than before.
Nevertheless, did you know she has a boyfriend?
What? Talk about a freaking shock. I jumped out of bed and stood up. But...
Your true feelings betray you.
Huh?
I was kidding, of course. The girl doesn't even have any confidants besides myself, much less a boyfriend.
Don't kid about things like that.
People allow their true selves to show when they're able to hide behind someone else's opinion. You're absolutely right, though. She does have an attitude problem.
Apparently, I've fallen for some sort of trap. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I was just surprised at the thought of her having a boyfriend. I wasn't disappointed or anything. Stock Sundari line number 5.
Well, I suppose not. Not yet.
What's with not yet?
Either way, you seem to be concerned about her peers' treatment of her.
How do you work that out? I didn't say that. The other classmates did.
People subconsciously favor opinions that are similar to their own while reporting information. It's true that her peers are keeping her at a distance, but there are quite a few voices acknowledging her diligence, and some admiring her good looks.
I just happen to have missed those positive opinions then.
Is that so? I hear that first thing this morning you asked Mizuha if she'd been mobbed by the media.
Sure, but was that because of my personal sensitivity to the eyes of the society? Damn it, talking to this woman tangles up my brain. Look, I'm hanging up now. You don't sound like you want to talk about anything important.
Yes, that's enough for today.
Does that mean we have another session tomorrow? I hang up. This is ridiculous. Seriously. Oh well, as long as they keep it in school. I stop thinking so hard and go to sleep. I actually begin to look forward to the doldrums of tomorrow that would allow me to forget about things like Maou, Gonzo, and the struggles of my family. Ellipses. Megalipses. So, I was playing a galage yesterday, right? Aichi suddenly started a conversation the next morning. It was going on about some uninteresting junk, but I guess it'll do as a time killer until class starts. Galage. That's one of those games where you hit on girls, right? Yeah, the goal is to tap every sweep 2D ass you come across. Really now? Did you manage to sex anyone up yet? Nah, not yet. That's not my point though. I realized something yesterday that pissed me off. What was it? The protag. He's kinda like you. Kinda like me? How? He's sarcastic and a bit of a dick, but then he whips out this strong sense of honor when the situation calls for it. Oh? That's not like me at all. Oh yeah, and he's got this friend too. Friend? He's real sexy and all, but he's always acting like an idiot. He helps out the protag sometimes when the shit hits the fan. Oh? Ain't he like me? It's almost like he was modeled after me. I'm not so sure about that. We banter for a few minutes until someone calls out to me.
Morning.
Ellipses.
What? Is there something wrong with me greeting you?
No.
Are you free during lunch?
I've got no plans, if that's what you mean. We can meet up if you want to.
Then I'll see you then.
She briskly walked away. You killing me, Kyousuke-chan! He drew closer to me with a jealous scowl. What was that about? You talk up a good revenge, then act like a little whipped bitch. What's going on with you two? Nothing's going on between us. Then what are you doing, eating lunch with the enemy? Hey, what's the big deal? If this was a galage, you would have fucked her twice by now. Good thing this is reality, then. Reality my ass. Didn't you get the memo? The world we live in is a virtual reality. Everything is just a computer simulation. Right. So you're saying that someone is out there right now on the other side watching our conversation. Yeah, though I wish they'd hurry up and patch us. Someone needs to make a mod where I'm 6 feet tall. You watch too many movies. Tokita meandered into the classroom before the bell rang. Yo, not late today, huh?
Right, because I didn't sleep.
Up all night giving Shiratori weird ideas again?
Why would you think that? Did she invite you for lunch?
As I thought. Hey, Tokita.
What are you going all stiff about?
What are you to Shiratori?
Her sister, of course.
You have different mothers, don't you?
What's your point?
Weren't you and your mother thrown out of the Shiratori house?
Yeah, my mom was Director Shiratori's mistress. And as you can imagine, having a mistress live openly in the same house with the family might cause a problem or two. Before long, every day had turned into an episode of some late-night TV drama.
I'm surprised you can talk about it so casually.
Is that strange?
Yes. You act like you're Shiratori's guardian, yet you were chased out of your own home when she stayed behind.
Right, so?
One would expect you to envy or resent her. Tokita narrowed her eyes at that.
Of course I envy her.
She returned to speaking casually.
But I've yet to be driven far enough to take my envy out on anyone.
I can't figure out how you managed to be so open and frank.
If I throw in a little drama, will you sympathize with me?
Not really.
Of course you wouldn't. And that's not particular to you. No one would. Even if people were aware of the horrible lives we face day in, day out, or that we have been thrown out of our very home, no one would pity me.
I think that's a bit of an overstatement.
What would you do if I told you I was swindled yesterday?
I'd ask why.
There's no reason behind it. I was just tricked.
Then it might have been your fault.
That's right. That's not a cold response either. It's merely human. People don't lend their hearts to those who do nothing but complain about their misfortunes.
Well, but that doesn't stop people from trying. Plenty of people out there just beg for sympathy by talking about their rough lives.
It has the opposite effect. People generally believe that the world is just. It's unsettling to think that misery can be doled out to saints as easily as sinners. Thus, people cope with this by assuming those who have led miserable lives have done something to deserve it.
What kind of life has this woman led? I'd ask, but it doesn't look like she'd be willing to talk about it. I obviously can't be certain, but it seems Tokita is doting on Shiratori after suffering through some complicated issue in the past.
Well then, I wonder how Mizuha will fare today.
She smiled in delight. Never mind. This can't be just doting on a sister. Soon enough, it was lunchtime.
Did you bring your lunch, Azaikan?
Nah, I always buy from the cafeteria.
Then, would you like some of this?
Some of what?
I'd be too embarrassed to show you here. Come with me.
Where is she dragging me this time, for God's sakes? I followed after Shiratori. As she walked in front of me, I noticed that she held what looked to be a boxed lunch. I never thought I'd be eating lunch with you, and alone no less.
If you didn't want to, you should have said so.
I don't have much else to do. I ended her nagging by sitting down.
First, I want to say sorry for yesterday.
Well, good. I half thought you had gone apeshit on me.
Ne-san told me that, you feel bad about the chocolates. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess.
Then it's alright, I suppose. I forgive you.
She was acting more than a touch condescending, but there was no reason to tell her that.
I made this.
She babbled and held out the lunch.
Eat it. Oh, but only if you want to.
Ellipses.
It's my apologies for yesterday.
Ellipses.
I'll bet it tastes good. I'm good at cooking.
Who said there was no such thing as a free lunch? All right, gladly. I unwrapped the napkin around the lunch to discover a cutesy little lunchbox. I opened the lid, and cliché dishes like omelets and sausages were housed within.
Is it good?
I haven't even taken a bite yet. What's got ants in her pants? I picked up the chopsticks inside the box and threw a bite of the food into my mouth. Well, it was fairly average. Shiratori fixedly watched me.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were rich. Is food like this too common for your tastes?
Don't be so fussy. It'll do just fine.
Phew.
Still, it's hard to relax with Shiratori glaring at me. There's something I need to confirm. Can I ask you something? I put down the chopsticks. Do you have a thing for me?
Oopsies.
Shiratori bit her lips and went silent. Oh, did I misinterpret something?
Oopsies.
I understand you gave me chocolates 2 years ago. Did you at least like me back then? Her trembling lips eventually spoke up.
Yeah,
Why?
because you always looked kind.
Which part of me were you looking at?
You carried me to the school infirmary.
I don't remember that at all.
You used to talk to me in the morning a lot.
I don't remember that either.
You even chased off a few intimidating men who were harassing me.
I remember that, though. Those intimidating men she spoke of were Sonoyama street thugs, boys at the bottom of the ladder. I heard someone shout the name of the Sonoyama group as I walked downtown, and lo and behold, they were belligerently complaining about Shiratori bumping into them. I was with Gonzo at the time. They had been too quick to flaunt the family, as those of the lowest rung are apt to do. He ordered me to do something about them, so I ended up saving her by some strange coincidence. I think I finally get it. After that incident, you discovered my intentions behind everything and have been angry at me ever since. Is that the gist?
Yeah. You only talked to me to get to my father, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
She seemed to have taken another shock. But as it stands now, I have no intentions of getting involved with Director Shiratori. I don't need to explain that one, do I?
I guess not.
At least he's been honest with her, and not leading her on.
Yeah.
Between the hostage crisis and the bribery scandal, Director Shiratori is just about toast. Anyway, thanks for the meal. I handed the lunchbox back to her.
Was it good?
I put it about average. Nothing really stood out as fantastic.
Oopsies.
She went silent again.
I lied when I said I was good at cooking. I'm sorry.
Really? Well, it's no big deal. But why were you trying to show off?
Because, no reason.
What did Tokita do this time?
She said if I did, I'd realize how honest you were. She told me that if you just flattered me, that it would prove that you only wanted something from me. But she also said she didn't think that would be the case.
What kind of test was that?
It's just something I wanted to clear up.
So Shiratori wants to trust me?
I'm sorry, really. I shouldn't have tested you like that.
As stupid stuff that people do to test the honesty of other people? That one wasn't too bad.
That could have been worse.
I don't mind. I'm used to being evaluated.
That's pretty cool.
What? She suddenly blushed.
Nessa said that everyone has two faces. The trick is, apparently 2 is pretty much the limit. She told me that once you see their other face, if they still don't lie, then they're probably a trustworthy person.
Trustworthy? You think?
Anyway, I'll make you lunch tomorrow too.
She left me with that as she ran off yet again. Hey! Shiratori's figure, jogging off with tightly clenched fists, seemed to be rather unfitting. Wait, tomorrow too? And what was with that, that's pretty cool?
Hello.
Tokita abruptly showed up. God damn it! You scared the shit out of me!
Do you need an explanation?
Alright, look. What's up with Shiratori? Ever since you showed up, she's been acting weird. Has she gone mad or something?
I've got her completely brainwashed.
She even said I was cool. What the hell's wrong with her? Tokita laughed, grinning.
The girl is a princess. Naturally, that means she likes tough, bad boys.
Bad boys?
Did you even realize that your voice gets deeper when you show your true self? Supposedly that gets Mizuha's pulse up, if you know what I mean.
I hope I do, anyway.
Then let me make myself more clear. If you like it, eat it up. Naturally, I'm not referring to her cute little homemade lunch.
She sounds like an old lech. Lunch break came to an end. Kyousuke, you free? I know you're free. Who am I kidding? Let's go to the arcade or something. I don't go to arcades. You know that by now. Then let's go grab some ramen or something. I have no plans for today. Nah, I'll pass. Not this time. Why the hell not? He suddenly started pouting. It's not Shiratori, is it? Enough with the tasteless jokes. You ate lunch with her, though, didn't you? Just the two of you. Look, that was... You know, it's all part of the revenge. Oh? You're still doing that? Later. I turned my back to Ichi. You're a cold bastard. You know that? It's not like you've got anything to do. I'm just not in the mood. That's exactly the time to go out and play. Get your spirits up a little. He clears his throat and puts his chin up in the air. I know exactly the pick-me-up you need. You do? My interest is a little piqued, I must say. One-on-one soccer! So much for the pick-me-up. That was more like a drop-me-down. What's with the reluctant face? So, basically, you're still just trying to get me to play games. How many times do I have to tell him I don't like them? Nah, man, I'm talking real soccer here. One of us kicks and the other one is goalkeeper? Like penalty kicks or something? Both of us kick. Then the goal is empty. Just one wrong move and the other would score. Are we done here? You really are a cold bastard. Well, see you later. Yeah, scurry on home, you cold piece of shit. That was a little harsh. Hey, Usami-san! Ichi called out to Usami, who was on cleaning duty. Most of the journalists and reporters who had plagued the school over the past few days must have given up, as only a few showed up today. There were two groups of girls walking in front of me. They walked past the school gate, then, as if suddenly noticing something gossip-worthy, huddled up to whisper to each other. I looked in the direction they were staring at, and Shiratori was standing there, waiting.
Azai-kun.
I was hoping to ignore her and save myself from being dragged into that spectacle, but those hopes were shattered when she called out to me. Yo! You'll be stared at if you loiter around here.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you a favor.
She was relentlessly pushy, just like at lunch.
I wanted to ask you to walk home with me.
That's it. I'm going to have to set her straight, once and for all. Alright, let's go to a cafe or something.
Sure.
She looked down again in embarrassment. I asked the waiter for a table for two, and we sat down.
Oopsies.
She seems nervous, as she won't even look me in the eye. You didn't have any important business with me or anything, did you?
Not really. Is this a bother?
I took a sip of my water before replying. I'll say this outright. I stare at her, and she shrinks into her shoulders in fear. I'm not interested in you that way. In fact, I'm not really interested in you at all. Even though she knew, she still seems disappointed.
So, does that mean there's really no use?
She glanced at me with upturned eyes. Jesus, I don't understand you. There are plenty of better guys out there. What kind of girl likes the same guy for over two of the most emotionally confused years of her life? Your reason for falling for me is so cliché. To top that off, you discovered shortly thereafter that it was all a big lie. So why are you still clinging to me? Shiratori didn't answer. Are you just being stubborn?
I don't know, but I can't help it.
She bit her lip. I couldn't understand Shiratori's feelings at all.
I'm kind of unsociable and I'm lacking in a lot of ways. But I wanted you to get to know me a little better. To see beyond those things.
She suddenly looked up, as if she had thought of something.
Please. You won't lose anything by going out with me, and I won't get in your way.
We can likely thank Tokita's influence for this pushiness. Then again, if you want to date me, go right ahead.
Huh?
You're good for a free screw, and a mediocre lunch every now and then, at the very least. That single sentence seemed to pierce her chest. I'll date you because there's nothing to lose by fucking you. But, like I said, I'm not interested in you. Are you still okay with that? I stood up to leave, not expecting a response.
Oopsies.
A sob of agony poured out. Later, I walked out before she could start crying. Dude, that was cold!
It was though. But you know, when you're truly not interested and someone's that pushy.
Yeah. Ellipses. Megalipses. I don't know much about love. It's probably just another one of those ways to push your feelings onto someone else. Well, whatever. I'm sure I'll forget all about this soon anyway. I decided to take a shortcut and turned into a narrow alley. Yo, yo, yo!
Hehehe.
The voices of bandits spilled forth from the darkness. Usami-san! The line!
If you want to pass, leave your water and food.
Usami-san! Wrong line!
Oops. What was it again?
Never mind. Listen, shithead. Prepare to meet your doom! Huh? Ouch! What the hell are you doing? That's my line. What were you doing just now? Nothing. Huh? Hey, get your face away from me. I'm asking what you were doing after you refused to go get ramen with me. What are you talking about? Oh? Playing dumb now? Gah! Let me go! We were following you all along. Right, Usami-san?
Ah, yes.
So there you have it. You went to the cafe with Shiratori. How are you going to talk your way out of this one? I could just be honest and say Shiratori confessed to me, at which point I refused, but... Ellipses. I'll leave it to your imagination. You really were getting ready to wet your dipstick. Ellipses. Revenge my ass. You've pissed us off good this time. Right, Usami-san?
Ah, yes.
Damn it, I'm not gonna let you take all the good bits. He flipped me the bird and walked off. You better watch your back when you walk the streets at night, you Kuntingulge protag! Usami still stood there, staring fixedly at me.
As I say, is it true?
What do you think? Of course not. She hung her head as if thinking about something.
How is Gonzo-san these days? Has he said anything about Maou?
What's with this sudden interrogation? No, he hasn't said anything.
I see. I thought Maou might have been the one pulling the strings behind the other day's hostage crisis. I guess it was my imagination.
She looked up and stared straight at me again.
Well then. Bye.
Yeah. Usami walked off, and I've a feeling we'll not see her again in this ending. For some reason, I gazed at her back. Something about that tone didn't sound like a normal bye. Weird woman. I headed home. After calling Miki-chan, Gonzo, and a few other business associates, I laid down on my bed. I thought back on the day. Most of my thoughts are obviously centered on Shiratori. She wants me to be her boyfriend. To be a boyfriend. I can't say I fully understand the meaning of that phrase. Does it mean to fall in love with someone and become emotionally involved? It may even include to take the steps necessary to become a husband and father. Well, there aren't many people who think that far ahead, so I'd wager that's not a part of its popular use. But either way, people date because it has some merit for them, be it because they're aiming for their partner's assets or to fulfill their own desires. There's something they're getting out of it. So, if I were to date Shiratori, there would have to be some merit in it for me. What is there to gain from dating Shiratori? Naturally, it would have to be something only Shiratori could provide. This train of thought is incredibly out of character, and frankly, stupid. It's vain to try to explain something as intangible and abstract as emotion with logic. Of course, that doesn't stop Tokita from having a blast doing just that. My cell phone loudly rang. I somehow predicted who it would be.
Evening. Are you fine for time right now?
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm surprised. I thought our conversation was finished. Was it not?
Nessun gave me the courage to try again.
That damn Nason again, huh? Shiratori apparently can't do anything without Tokita.
I want to pick up where we left off at the cafe.
I don't think there's much left to say. She's a timid girl when Tokita isn't pushing her around. What? Are you going to ask me out again?
Mm,
I told you already. We can do whatever you want, but I'll only be using you. She eventually spoke up in a sobbing voice.
okay.
Come again?
That's okay.
The sadist in me reared its ugly head. I might cheat on you, or ask you for money. I couldn't fathom this situation. What does Shiratori have to gain that could push her this far?
Don't mind.
Shiratori was blind. I remember Tokita once telling me that Shiratori was no good with people. I was honestly taken aback by Shiratori's absurd request. Alright, fair enough. Then let's date. I involuntarily agreed. If I play around with her a little, she might open her eyes.
Really?
Sure.
Thank you.
You promised not to get in my way. You do best to remember that.
I know. Ask me anything. I'll do whatever you want.
What's with you? My interest in Shiratori suddenly spiked. I'm hanging up. Try not to call me for no reason.
I know. I'll text you.
Whether I read it or not is my prerogative.
That's fine.
How long is she going to keep this up? Anyone else would have abandoned hope once they realized the other person didn't share their feelings.
Well, good night.
Her last words were somehow sad. Ellipses. Whatever. Just because I'm dating Shiratori doesn't mean my life is going to suddenly change tomorrow morning. I guess I'll go to sleep. Megallipses. Ellipses.
Mizuha hugged her older sister, weeping. Was that okay? You did well. She had always confidently encouraged Mizuha. But he said he might cheat on me. Really? That's so incredibly cruel. Keep in mind, that's just his personality, though. But it was so mean. I don't know if I can go on like that. Mizuha just keeps whining, yet a gentle voice rains down upon her head. You only think that because you're not putting in enough effort.
I'm wondering what her stake in all this is.
I'm wondering that too, because this is terrible advice.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that she's not as fond of her as we seem to be thinking. She's got to be bitter because of the familial situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Effort? From now on, make sure to tell him exactly how you feel. Never give up. Yeah, I'll try. Sorry for always whining. Mizuha's sister laughed at her obedient attitude. As your relationship with him deepens, you'll stop whining so much. You'll stop needing my help, too. When that happens, you're near your goal. Okay, thanks. Now, it's late. Wait, Nessa, let's walk back together until we have to split up. Mizuha has her own home. Yuki has her own family. They're sisters, but they can't live together. It started snowing. Oh? Mizuha held her sister's hand. I hope we get to make snowmen again. Yeah. Yuki laughed. Mizuha failed to recognize the dark shadow lurking inside her grin.